Okay, so let's see. Entei makes sense. Definitely looking like. Oh, this is interesting. Not quite as trick roomy as I thought it was going to be.
Oh man, it's an interesting team we're seeing here.
Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah,
I think it's a really good answer for trick room, right? Like, does
but it
pretty
doesn't
well.
look like he was bringing a lot of trick room, so maybe Kokusho plans to set it himself.
Yep, it is a bulky boy. True.
Do you want me to do my radio intro again?
Feel free.
All right. Well, we've got an exciting match this day. This is the semi-finals, Kokusho versus DahGuyNate. Now, DahGuyNate has had an incredible season, just perfect record all the way through. Hasn't lost a game yet. We're excited to see what he's up to. But Kokusho, on the other hand, despite normally losing in the second round of every playoffs, he has made it past the second round, and we are into the semi-finals. So this is again uncharted territory for Kokusho. So we were just excited to see what these two are capable of face to face. Just a clash of titans going on right here. The Slay King on Kokusho's team is just such a menace, whereas DahGuyNate's teams, he manages to do some crazy things with Pokemon like Marowak, which you wouldn't expect. So let's see what these two are up to.
Yeah, I definitely think that DahGuyNate has a good chance here today. Obviously, he's made a great showing with Indeedee this season. Has such versatility, can do so many things. Togekiss does not need to be introduced. It is a bulky support Pokemon that it's been in play for multiple VGC seasons at this point. Keldeo, we have not seen a whole lot of in this playoff, but I think that we'll see a little bit today. Alolan Persian, another great support Pokemon. And on JDB's side, we've got a Scavalier, which is interesting. Tapu Fini, a classic defensive pivot, a rock for this team. Luxray coming in with almost exclusively support. We've got Baby Doll Eyes, we've got Intimidate. Galarian Weezing is really the enabler of this team. Let's Slaking go wild and shuts down a lot of the abilities of the opposition's Pokemon.
And this is just a huge, huge matchup. I've been looking forward to this all season. So another thing that consequence of this match that we could see is if Kokusho pulls this out, then we could have ourselves a Team Swarm only finals, which is a pretty interesting thing considering how Team Swarm performed during the season. We'd love to see it, but or at least I'd love to see it, being a former Team Swarm member. Or I guess am I out of the team now that I lost, or?
No. Team Spirit goes beyond winning and losing seasons.
After I lost, I gave Sephiroth and JDB my energy, so let's.
And clearly, your energy helped Sephiroth today. I mean, his opponent blundered very hard. Yeah, I'm excited for a Team Swarm finale, and I'm also excited for either of these guys to move on. I think it's really impressive how well everybody played this season. I don't think anybody in particular played particularly bad. These teams have just been well-built, well-drafted. This has been one of the more competitive seasons we've had, and here we go.
All right, we've got the Slay King out. We know what this thing likes to do. Let's see if he's going to switch that Dusknoir out into Weezing. Although I guess he doesn't need to this turn.
Yeah, he can do it. He can do it next turn. He can do it this turn, whenever he really wants to. Frisk coming out on Dusknoir, which is very, very handy to see what your opponent is using. Scouting in game 1 is really important for a 3-game set, and anything with Frisk is a very large benefit in that regard. Entei Togekiss on the side of DahGuyNate, not a lead that I think we've ever seen him use this season. I'm not sure what he's going for. Maybe he has. Maybe Entei is a bulky answer to Slaking. Maybe he has other plans for it. I know that this Togekiss is probably using Follow Me, so we will see what happens.
I'm really interested in these items that we're seeing because of Dusknoir's Frisk. We've got a Bright Powder on Togekiss. One of the dirtier items we've seen this season. And an Adrenaline Orb.
Bright Powder. What a combo, you know? To draw in a move and have it miss, there's nothing left to say. Adrenaline Orb is very interesting. I would have liked to see maybe a band on Entei instead, but he's the master. He's gotten this far into the playoffs.
So we see a switch out into Tapu Fini. No Dynamax, but a Rock Slide to prevent the... Oh, a flinch.
Going for the 50% burn chance.
Right. So Kokusho managed to get a flinch while he missed out on the 50% burn. Nate missed out on the 50% burn chance. Oh, good point. That would do it.
An extremely smart switch. I mean, this is why Kokusho's gotten so far. He's built a very well-rounded team to support and protect his Slaking, which is honestly should be restricted at this point. I fully expect to see a switch into Galarian Weezing this turn.
With the Misty Terrain up, he's already protected, but he may actually switch out the Slaking. I could potentially see that too, because Tapu Fini is a really strong Pokemon against a lot of his team.
Yeah, Tapu Fini really matches up very well into Nate's team. You were right about that.
And there it is. We get to see the items for a second time.
And there's Calm Mind. This is that is a crit
through the Calm Mind. That's unfortunate, but
just 3 more of those, and he's got this in the bag.
Oh wow! I can't imagine how much damage that would have done without the crit. +2.
Nothing.
It's just not even noticeable. It's still 100.
Maybe 10. Maybe
0%.
Maybe 10% if I'm thinking right about it. Crit does 1.5. It's about 30%. 2 times defense. Makes sense.
Crit does 1.5.
I think so, yeah. Am I incorrect? Okay.
Okay. I apparently don't know how this game works.
No, it's okay. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, honestly.
It's not quite fast enough to make anything on Kokusho's team want to flinch, so super
With a bright powder too. He might be going for some weird shenanigans on.
I mean, that's just Nate in general is weird shenanigans. There's Snarl.
To lower that.
That's smart.
Special
a very smart
down.
And it lives because of the Snarl.
Wow.
And the flinch!
Okay, that's probably not super luck.
What an insane turn.
Man. If he had targeted into Entei there, he'd be in a lot better position. But now that Snarl is going to come out again. And if Luxray is his 4th, he definitely doesn't want to send it out against the Entei with the Adrenaline Orb. Assuming he's running Intimidate, which he usually does.
Ooh, Shadow Snake. That's smart. He used Sacred Fire and Rain, and it killed.
Oh, wow.
I think it might have been smart to take out Dusknoir there, just to get it out of the rotation of Pokemon. Snarl wasn't doing too much to Tapu Fini, besides obviously the special attack drop. But we're definitely going to see what comes out now. I wouldn't be surprised to see Luxray come out now, since Adrenaline Orb is out of play.
Not to mention the Keldeo on Nate's side. I could see that coming out, since that matches up well against Slaking. And there's Slaking.
I expect to see an immediate Dynamax. Don't want to mess around with losing a lot of HP in your little Keldeo form. Unless we see an Indeedee Dynamax, which would definitely catch me off guard.
Let me look into Keldeo. It's not a Pokemon I know a whole lot about.
Not a whole lot of coverage to hit Tapu Fini, that's for sure.
Resolute form. So it's the same stat-wise.
It just gets
129 base special attack. That's
it just gets
crazy.
access to is it Secret Sword that it gets access to in Resolute form? Right.
Secret Sword attacks the
It's a little
defense.
prettier.
Interesting.
Secret Sword could be, well, it is resisted, but it could be good into Tapu Fini, considering that,
Special defense is so high.
yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter if he Dynamaxes.
Geyser, yeah,
Geyser
that's not going
into
to do much.
Fini?
Giga Impact.
Oh, he doesn't care. He just wants to recharge. He's going to recharge anyway, so. Max Starfall.
That is weakness policy.
Ooh, weakness policy.
And Tapu Fini's out of Dynamax. This is interesting.
They are on the same, but Keldeo can't stab the Fini.
It can't use, not very easily, no.
So the question is, if he uses a max move here, does it live? He's at +2, but Fini's also at +2.
Yeah, I would think that Fini lives whatever Keldeo uses here.
Unless he has something super effective.
That being said,
know.
Fini is... Yeah, and because Expanding Force is doing 20%-ish to Fini. And it's killing the Slaking, so this is a really interesting position.
Right. Protects the Fini. Smart move.
Airstream.
Airstream for a speed boost, which I guess it doesn't really need.
It'll be faster than whatever comes in. Both of them will be. There's Weezing. Right. I forgot that we already saw Weezing. My fault.
So these abilities, nothing's really matters about what's getting neutralized here. I could potentially see an ally switch.
This seems really good for Nate, this particular position. Expanding Force is doing a ton.
I don't think the Fini lives this turn unless he manages to pull off some shenanigans. If he manages to avoid Keldeo's attack by either Keldeo targeting into the Weezing slot or ally switching or something. Otherwise, this is a game for Nate for sure at this point. Airstream kills.
Wow, that killed. It must be physical.
Expanding Force. Sash.
Down to Sash.
Sludge Bomb.
Yeah, Airstream must be physical.
That's a game.
Would you think?
It must be. Like, what does it learn?
It gets access to Aerial Ace. Yeah.
It gets Air Slash too, but yeah, it could be Aerial Ace. If that's a physical.
I don't think it would have killed if it had been special with +2 special defense on Tapu Fini. It's especially bulky to begin with.
Right.
That is
close game for sure.
Extremely interesting.
All right, so we're going into game 2. Let's see.
What do you think? Any change-ups? I think maybe we'll see a Dynamax Slaking.
Potentially. I think Fini might still be his best option because it did work out for him. But I think his targeting earlier on.
Yeah.
Without Truant. But the Keldeo is such a huge problem for Slaking.
It's not, I mean, it's not the biggest problem in the world.
True.
Because if the fighting type move that Keldeo is using is special, Max Knuckle isn't going to boost anything that's relevant. Right.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what he's got. He's got Airstream, which might be physical. Also, Kokusho now knows about the weakness policy and knows how to avoid triggering it.
I think we might see a Luxray come out, but not until after Entei has been dealt with. We could see an early Entei Dynamax to set up Sun, which would definitely make it a lot harder for Kokusho to rationalize Dynamaxing Tapu Fini.
Right. Setting up the Sun is not ideal. But it's also not ideal for Keldeo either.
True.
All right, Finny comes out first.
Wow.
And now we're seeing
Marowak.
Marowak.
Well,
Is he possibly anticipating Luxray? True. Certainly. So, it potentially has Keldeo in the back, as well as, honestly, any of these Pokemon are really good to have in the back.
Marowak gets access to Thunder Punch, which could definitely be helpful into Tapu Fini.
That's an interesting move. Gen 1, I'm always surprised when I learn what Gen 1 Pokemon are capable of learning. It's like...
Oh, they learn everything. It gets access to Icy Wind, Ice Beam, Outrage, Fighting type moves.
Water Gun.
Does it get Water Gun?
Just mix it out of a bone.
Gets Fire.
Sure, we'll imagine it.
It's very funny.
Oh, wow. We're in the think tank now. Finny,
Makes sense.
Honestly, that crit early in game 1 from the Togekiss into Finny might have actually mattered, because there were some really close numbers there towards the end, which led him to max guard a turn.
Yeah,
he might have been better off not doing that.
That crit definitely might have mattered. Although we did see a weakness policy activation, so maybe Max Airstream was doing a lot more than we thought it was going to, especially if it was scaling off of a physical move.
True.
And there's the Slaking
There's
Dynamax.
the Slaking. And there's the... Okay. Going in to follow me.
Wow. I'm shocked that it lives that.
That is probably calced to a certain degree.
And there goes Tapu Fini. Yep, that's great.
Oh, and he replaced the terrain.
Entei comes out.
And sets up the burn.
Tries to burn, yeah.
So what do you do here?
We could also maybe see a Persian for Quash shenanigans.
I do love Quash. Love to see it. But not against Kokusho, because I'm rooting for him right now.
yes. Non-biased commentary. What are you expecting to see come out here, Ben?
Galar Weezing, of course. And it's not running Psychic Surge. That's funny. Oh, right, of course. So he won't be able to get off his Expanding Forces.
Does Expanding Force work on any terrain?
It does, but it won't hit both. It'll still hit Weezing pretty hard, though.
Was it Psychic Terrain that was up last game, or was it Fairy Terrain? Misty Terrain? Okay. To change it. Gotcha. We could definitely see Max Steel Spike come out into Weezing here.
Or even a ground move, since we already know its ability. But Steel Spike would protect it against flaking more.
Yeah, the defense raise.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely going to be a think tank kind of game.
Right. Quick question. When Weezing dies, does the Psychic Surge activate?
Yeah, as soon as it dies, yeah.
Okay.
But that will be happening at the end of whatever turn it dies on, considering that this is a Marowak with a speed drop.
Right.
No, nothing.
And the Weezing is sashed, which we already know from last game, so it'll at least take 2 hits. And it's protecting.
Yep. And then
that thing is also sashed.
Yep. Dazzling Gleam. That's a lot of damage against that slaking.
Okay, and he went for the Quake to get the special defense boost, which is not ideal. Not the defense you really want right here. But he had to have already known about the sash from last game, so he's really going for speed drops. Now that Marowak is this slow, he might be outsped by Weezing.
Definitely a good chance.
58 to 123. Oh, wait. Weezing's naturally faster than Marowak in general.
I don't think Weezing has any speed investment, though.
No, yeah, for sure. Ally switch. Knuckle did not do much there, but we do have an attack raise.
Well, I don't know if this special defense is going to be extremely helpful for the rest of this game, but...
So, Slaking can move this turn, right? Or does he have to switch back?
No. Well, I assume that Galarian Weezing... Yeah, I expect that Galarian Weezing is switching back in, but...
But yeah...
We might see a Marowak switch out here. These speed drops and the attack drop is not amazing.
And the special defense boost is not like it's something he needs.
Yeah, protect and switch would be a very desirable play on the side of Nate. We'll see what Kokusho decides to do this turn. It's a very interesting position to be in.
Now that he's got his psychic terrain up, he might try to go for a psychic expanding force as well. These games are always so close. It's 1 down on both sides. And neither are in an incredibly good position. Okay, he protected the that one. And he missed! Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh my goodness. What a miss. Oh, wow. That's a shocker.
Yeah, I think, like you said before, I think this turn it's definitely going out with another attack drop. The Marowak, I mean.
Yeah, Marowak going out and coming back in would be wow.
Oh,
yeah, this is rough. I'm shocked that it outsped with a speed drop.
What is it? Is it scarfed?
It could be. 61.
Because he Dynamaxed immediately. We don't know what he could have locked into.
If Luxray wasn't max speed and indeed he was, then it makes sense that it could still outspeed.
Oh, right, because Slaking was leffing around. I was wondering.
Yeah, well, I just meant Luxray. I thought that Luxray would outspeed Indeedee and kill it there.
Wow,
incredible games. Let's get these guys in here. Wow. So first of all, Kokusho, congrats on the great playoffs run and the great season. Any surprises that you weren't expecting during the set?
Nothing too out of the ordinary. I guess the adrenaline orb on the intake kind of caught me off guard, but it didn't actually come into play.
Were you expecting Marowak to be his answer to your Slaking?
Yeah, I knew that Marowak could be a possibility. He's pretty good into the Slaking, and he's got the max lightning for the Feeny.
Right. Yeah, we were a little surprised that in the end, Indeedee outsped your Luxray. Was your Luxray speed invested at all?
No speed investment, no.
0.
Gotcha.
Man, those were tight games. What was your thought process, like planning for Nate?
Planning for Nate, I was trying to lean into the Feeny, even though I don't know that it really went that way in the games. I felt pretty confident that he didn't have any, he doesn't have any stab super effective into the Feeny, and the Feeny had really good damage coverage into his entire team. I guess the one thing that did catch me off guard is he had that weakness policy, game 1 on the Keldeo.
Yeah,
Right, yeah, that wound up
that
costing you that
definitely
game.
mattered. We were speculating that the airstream that Keldeo used was actually scaling off of a physical move with the weakness policy activated because it did so much to Tapu Fini at the end.
Not only
Yeah,
that,
it's certainly possible.
not only that, but the extrasensory into the critical extrasensory earlier on in game 1 might have done just enough to push that over the edge.
Oh yeah, the crit. I forgot about that.
Yeah, game 1 was definitely rough for my Tapu Fini. It picked up that early damage from the extrasensory.
Yeah,
and then it ended up proccing the weakness policy. So, if not for those things, I think Tapu Fini was very well positioned in that game. But
I think that both games you positioned quite well. I think Finny did just about as good as she could have done. You can't account for crits.
it's certainly one of my favorite Pokemon I've played with.
Yeah,
well, you can
Finny,
predict
it's
weakness
just
policies.
it's just
not
an
always.
amazing defensive pivot. You have any regrets for this season? Any Pokemon that you thought would do well and didn't really meet your expectations?
I really enjoyed, I think, all of the ones I had on my team. Some of them I wish I would have had a better opportunity to play with. Felt like the Escavalier I thought was going to be very good, but it felt like all my opponents just had a fire type naturally on their team.
Right.
And so I, even like several times I would bring it with the intention of fielding it, maybe if they benched their fire Pokemon for the week, maybe because they were, scared of the Feeny or something. But it's just really hard to field the Escavalier when, like, I was looking at the calcs and, like, Entei's Sacred Fire was like 350% of its health. So it's like you can't even put a berry on it to try and make it live.
Yeah, I was talking about the calc that I did for Nidoking Flamethrower against Durant, against Nate before this one, and it's a very similar calc. It did like 375% of Durant's max HP. So
yeah,
I definitely understand that it can be extremely difficult to field a Pokemon like that. But either way, I think first of all you broke your playoff curse of the second round. So congrats on that, is in order.
Congratulations on your new curse.
Yeah.
we'll take it one at a time.
Yeah, next season you're in the finals for sure.
For sure.
And then you'll lose that one, and that'll be your new curse.
No. Don't curse them already. Ridiculous. No, but I think you played those games extremely well, and
oh yeah, for sure.
I want to congratulate you on a good season.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go ahead and get Nate in here. If he'll join us, that is.
On the bright side, we don't have to deal with the sadness and sorrow of a Swarm v Swarm final.
True.
Almost.
Team kills are very unfortunate. Nate. Yeah. So, just any thoughts off the bat? Anything you want to talk about?
Man, I got really lucky that Rock Slide missed the
Yep.
only Pokemon that it needed to hit.
Mhm.
You
got the. We were talking about game 1, the extrasensory crit through the Calm Mind boost on the special defense. Might have contributed to the survivability of Finny long term.
It probably did quite a bit. My dumbass thinking that somehow Max Geyser was going to do more damage than Max Air.
Well, it was in range. We gotta know, was the move that Airstream was scaling off of a physical move?
Nope.
Was it really not?
Yeah, Air Slash.
Wow,
Yeah,
I'm
so that definitely
shocked that it did that much damage.
would have lived.
In fact, I was surprised that it killed too. I did double into it, with that in mind.
Makes sense.
So maybe it would have just stalled out the game one more turn. But yeah.
Yeah, and then in game 2, you used Marowak to really great great effect. I was expecting you to switch him out at some point because of the speed drop and the attack drops, or the attack drop and the speed drops.
Yeah, the speed drop, it didn't really matter. I was going to be slowest no matter what.
Right, of course.
The attack drop, honestly, I was kind of hoping Indete would just like die. Like if he could have just like killed it, because I was ready to bring Keldeo in the back and kind of sweep up.
Right.
But Indete dodged that rock slide and was able to hang on.
That was a smart move, dodging that rock slide. That's a good play, honestly.
Yeah, I've been surprised no one has seen the dodge button on Showdown, but I seem to be the only one clicking it.
Yeah, I don't know. Mine doesn't have that. I got a different setup.
I've just got the hit 70% accurate moves button.
Oh, I'd take that too.
What, you've got that?
I don't think you can have both. I think you had to choose. Remember when you?
Oh, is this part of like the scaling? Like when you pick your build at the beginning?
Yeah, it's like Wizard 101. Like you pick your school of magic. Like mine was the accuracy school.
Yeah, Skinner went into the crit class.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm rewatching like the end of game 2. That rock slide miss, which is massive.
it was a nail in the coffin for sure.
Critical miss.
Yeah, and Luxray seems to be pretty slow. Kokusho, did you have a pretty like just bulky?
Yeah, it was just all bulk, no speed investment.
Okay, because like even with a speed down, I wasn't expecting to survive there. I was expecting a snarl or something to hit both.
Yeah, I was actually expecting to outspeed even with no speed investment. I had a snarl queued up for you.
Were you max speed in TD?
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think max speed. I think there was a few things I was looking out for. Oh, I was trying to outspeed like Savali. I was utterly shocked at Noivern and not bringing Noivern especially. I thought that just like destroyed a lot of my team.
Yeah, I mean Noivern is definitely a very good Pokemon. It's so ridiculously fast.
Just like I think like a Dynamax Noivern was almost OHKOing a Dynamax Keldeo, and that like made me very, very nervous. And then this game, I didn't know, like, especially like game 1, like if you're thinking about running like a Trick Room thing or anything. What was the idea with a Scabier?
I had the potential Trick Room set up, but you brought in Tay and that kind of scared me off of it.
I almost didn't bring Entei. I was talking beforehand about maybe switching that to Tauros, but I was just so concerned about everything that Luxray can do, that you can see how special I brought this week.
Hmm.
That Shadow Sneak, I was feeling like on top of the world before that Shadow Sneak. I'm like, oh, sick! Like Togekiss survived. I'm gonna be able to like follow me, and like we're gonna be in awesome shape. And then the sneak, and I'm like, ah, shit.
Yeah, the Shadow Sneak caught me off guard too. I was not expecting it.
Yeah. The terrain stuff, I could never follow this entire game. Between like,
I kept swapping, and I was completely unsure what terrain was at the end of game 1.
yeah, and I think it was at the end of game 1. I think there was one time I might have just got lucky because I usually, it's expanding force. I usually just click like whoever, and I just think it's gonna hit both.
Right.
So that would have been like pretty embarrassing. Was Slacking vested?
He was, yes.
Okay. That was something else I was expecting. Keldeo has that like secret sword, I think it is, that goes off defense and not special defense. So I thought that might come in handy, like if it's like a late game thing.
Right.
That's a lot of the reason why I didn't lead Keldeo at the beginning. Just knowing that if I Dynamax, I lose that like big buff.
Yeah, playing for your end game Keldeo, I think, was a very wise decision.
That's my favorite thing to ask. Kokusho, was there anything like surprises that you wanted to show but didn't get really a chance to in these games?
Yeah, do you have any plans on your other Pokemon that like secret strategies that you thought you were going to use this season and didn't get the opportunity to pull out?
Yeah, I didn't really come up with anything too clever this week. My plan was just, I felt my team matched up pretty well into Nate's on paper, and so I thought if I just brought something pretty straightforward, that would do well enough for me. But obviously, I should have spent some more time innovating.
Yeah, I think Nate definitely prepped extremely hard for this one. When the Frisk popped game 1 and we saw that Adrenaline Orb, we were a little questioning, but I think that either way it was very well played by both of you. So congrats on your fantastic season again, Kokusho, and congrats on making it to the finals, Nate.
Thank you very much. That was an awesome game, Joe.
Yeah, good game, Nate.
Pleasure. Yeah,
good games.
Any closing remarks from either of you? Nate, how do you feel going into Jack in the finals?
I don't know. We'll see. It's been interesting watching how he uses, especially like Zero Aura. We'll see if I can find any good counters for that.
I feel like he pulls up with something different every week, so like it's really hard to prepare for.
That's a bit of an issue, and like I think he ran it very early in the season, but the beat up onto Arcanine.
That's something we haven't even seen in a while. But
I'm just now realizing he's sitting in here, so I think he's
writing it down. He's got
I think he has a garbage team, and like he probably shouldn't even show up to the final.
Hey, very nice dub, sir. I ate my words a little bit. Kokusho, I was reading for you in the chat earlier. Really great games from both of you, but Nate, congrats on pulling it out, dude.
Thank you. RNG was in my favor.
The rock slide
there was a little
definitely hurt. I don't know if it necessarily won you the game, but it definitely made it 90% easier.
Yes.
I don't think anyone choked in these games for sure.
Yeah, these were well played.
Well played.
That Calm Mind, I don't know why I never even thought that Calm Mind was an option. Because I remember even like, okay, he's going to have Muddy Water or Scald, and then like Dazzling Gleam, and probably Protect. And then like the third move, I'm like, there's just like nothing else on this Tapu Fini you can run.
Nothing at all.
Yeah, nothing. So
The Marowak was a good answer. I didn't realize that it. Well, I guess it was Dynamax and you weren't that game, but when we talked a little bit about it prior to, we just thought that Finny was such a great matchup into your team.
Yeah, it was a strong Pokemon into your team for sure. Hit almost everything.
yeah, I'm really happy my finals opponent doesn't have a Tapu Fini for me to worry about.
Oh, he's
True.
trading it to me.
Oh no.
Yeah, you're allowed to do that
still
now.
open? Oh,
Only for Team
Dude.
Sword members.
I've been trying to get rid of Samurott since like week 5. I thought they were closed.
What was your samurai thought process for that game?
It was just to bring in the back because it matched up well into Crawdaunt. It gets Mega Horn. It gets fighting type moves. It also matches well into Komo because it gets like Ice Beam. So it was like a back bring if I really needed it.
Yeah.
But I had more things to worry about, like click and protect twice in a row. So, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, I think that about wraps up the interviews.
All right.
Great season.
Congratulations to everyone, including me.
Woo!
Congrats, me.
Let's go.
Good job, Caleb. That's that self-love.
Good job, everybody. Looking forward to some sick finals.
Yes.
Nate, when are we doing this?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
How about that one, Chief?
Right now.
Right now.
Get in there. No prep.